I'll just make sure there's no, should be live, I'll make sure there's no volume. Just make sure there's no, are you mate ready?
Yep.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Celtic Honest Interview podcast. My name is Ryan Clifford and we're back with the two Ronnies. Jason could be on this episode, but he's dealing with some family issues at the moment. But again, JP, welcome on the podcast. My name is Ryan Clifford and it's sorry for the less content this week. A few boys on holiday and getting some suntan and buying lure packs, stock up on lure packs, as we've said before. Lure packs back up in price. So, back to the good stuff, JP. Celtic, mate. Two new signings today, double signing, double Tuesdays. So a lot of dominoes getting ordered tonight, 2 for Tuesdays. Pre-season games, obviously, Vienna we've thought to cover. Briefly touch on that. Blackburn game, obviously Legia tomorrow and Norwich on Saturday. We're gearing up to the start basically in 2 weeks' time, roughly. A lot to talk about, obviously, probably for the signings, I would say, to start off with. Obviously, it's a good signing. I don't see the issue. Oh, we've been after. We're back on. I don't know what happened there. But IJP for me, Aaron Mooy, don't see any negative from the signing whatsoever. I don't know what you take on it, mate, but I'm happy from the signing.
Yeah, first of all, good evening, mate. Sorry, I only caught a wee bit of what you were saying there because actually we had a wee bit of a technical difficulty there, so I don't know what happened there, Ryan. I could only hear a wee bit of what you were saying. Caught the first part right enough. I hope to God you've not got the kind of fetishes kicking about again, talk about love pack and all that, especially on a hot day like this. Come on, man, turn it up a bit. Because this picture of you in that hot tub giving it loud with some love pack, mate, showing off.
Smart it all, didn't we?
Well, that's it, there you go. And I don't know whether that's a pleasant picture you've just painted for our viewers, Ryan. We're probably going to lose some followers now just due to that comment alone. But
I've lost a bit of weight. I've lost a bit of weight, mate. So
hopefully I can try and redeem us a wee bit here, you know. Because that's how you've got the two Ronnies. One's always half a boil, and the other one brings it back to normality. But in terms of Celtic, Ryan, where do we start? As you say, we've not really had a chance to really discuss too much what's been happening in pre-season. A lot of early recruitment being done again in terms of Ange, try to get his signings on early doors. First couple of signings, obviously, two massive signings was Jota and Carter Vickers. I nearly forgot his name there, he's that good. But we've moved very quickly and we've added a goalkeeper, which was unbelievable. And I think, you know my feelings on Big Benji, as we call him. I think he's super duper. We got him for hee-haw, which is a no-brainer in my opinion. You're getting quality. You just had to look at him on Saturday past, the saves he was pulling off. He's a big framey boy as well. He's massive. He's a monster. He puts his shell about. I think he's very vocal as well, going with what I've seen him. It'd be good to go to Celtic Park for a change and watch him in our goal instead of against us, because he was a bit of a nightmare last season and he was saving everything for Dundee United. No, it's good to have him on board. And then obviously the Argentinian boy, Bernabe. He looks a cracker as well. I know people are saying and I know we spoke to Seba and stuff, and for the Argentinian Celtic Supporters Club and stuff, about obviously how he is and would he take time to settle, and he agreed he probably would. But on Saturday again, when he came on, mate, he looked as if he'd been there a wee while. He's unlucky not to score. So, aye, great signings, and then obviously 2 for Tuesdays, as you called it. That's a better deal than Domino's, I think, mate. Know what I mean? Definitely. I don't think there'll be many pizzas flying off the shelf tonight, but people flocking down to Parkhead to try and get photos and selfies with the 2 new boys. Big boy Lenz, that's came right out of left field, that one. We've obviously heard names of other players that, you know, we could have been interested in, blah, 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 but listening to the boy I know in his interview earlier on, he's stating that the deal was nearly done last year. Found that quite interesting as well. And I don't know if he meant last year in terms of last season or last year as in the last calendar year. Obviously, he's a good pal to Matt O'Reilly. Going with what he was saying tonight, I think that's his best pal. Just for what he was saying. And then Aaron Mooy, mate. Again, speaking to my dad about this just before we came on. Aaron Mooy has been brought in for the Champions League now. I think his qualities will show really well in that. His experience, his passing is unbelievable. The different types of passing that he can do. He doesn't look. See what he can do with the ball. He doesn't look like he can do that with the ball, if that makes sense. He's quite deceiving that way. He loves to play a kind of like the wee boys in the corner, early tap, 1-2s. He's very sharp. He's very quick-minded as well. I know he's 31. People are. Listen, I've been on social media the last couple of days, and the amount of nonsense I've heard just because he's 31, all of a sudden he's not fit to play anymore. It's fucking rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Go and have a lie down in a cold paddling pool somewhere, you know what I mean? Stop talking absolute nonsense. But as I say, obviously we'll wait and see what he's going to be like in a Celtic jersey, obviously. But for what we know him, it's a typical Ange signing as well. Ange is obviously going to be comfortable with that one because he played. Going with Aaron's interview earlier on, he played for 3 years under Ange with the national team, so the two of them know one another quite well. And obviously Harry Kill's there as well, so that'll be a big. Plus the guys, I mean, his residence here as well, and he stays in Glasgow, so it all kind of marries pretty well together, mate.
And welcome, Jason. Jason's on as well. The wee family issue sorted, mate.
How you doing, big man? Nice to see you. Didn't think you were getting out that paddling pool.
It's been borrowed last 3 in my house there, man. My 2.
He's all trying to get in at one time.
No, I think she had too much sun in the day, and it was just Groundhog Day, man. But here we go there in the end.
It's good to have you on, mate. Basically, we're talking about obviously the Aaron Mooy signing and Moritz Jens. Get back to what JP says. I think I put it on Twitter. A lot of negative vibes from some fans, Jason. Me personally, again, I don't talk for the fan base. I talk for myself, and I just think some of the fan base are spoiled, to be honest with you. Seen a few comments about the board on a few social medias. I've seen a few comments about the signing, about him, why we're not signing £6 million players and this and that. Every player cannot be £6 million players. Celtic have got a budget. Celtic need to go by the budget. Bernabei, Jota and Vickers are probably the budget for the amount of money they've spent. They've spent about 14 million, 15 million pounds roughly in players, maybe in wages, take up to 18 million pounds. I think roughly they've gave Jota, according to Fraser, Jota's the highest pipeline in Scotland. They've gave these guys a lot of money. The board have backed Ange kind of blind, especially last season. I think, was it give or take, was it 18 players they brought in or something last year?
17.
So how the fuck can anybody slag the board? Like seriously, like listen, we've had a lot of bad European results in Europe, and I gave the board a bit of jet when it came to the one of the Dialect era when we so strengthened when they went down to obviously whatever they done they went down to the third division. And I've got a wee stat here. I think you put it in the podcast, Jason. That I think somebody put it on Twitter. and Ari did it as well. Under the board for the 2000 to 2001 to last year, to the 2020, 15 leagues, 10 Scottish Cups, 9 League Cups, and 5 trebles. Successfully, domestically, we're dominant, absolutely dominant. European-wise, you've got to say, we should be doing better. We should be, for maybe the budget.
We've won 10 titles out the last 11, right?
So, realistically, you can slaughter the board, Jason, for maybe the 10 in a row season, but it wasn't all the board's fault. The board have got to take drip for it, yes. But take away that, on this season, for the sign for Aaron Mooy, I don't see one negative. For me, it's low risk and it's a possibility at a high reward. The guy's played at the high level of international football, over 50 caps. He's only 31. For me, I feel he's went to China, got a bit of money. He knows that he's got to get himself back into the big time. It's bigger leagues, European football, and Ange knows him. This isn't I'll actually give my wee plug. I was on the Jungle Gyms podcast there, and we were spoke about, obviously, this as well. And again, good guys.
Two timing, Jason.
Hi, two timing. Good guys, good chat with them. On their YouTube page, subscribing, getting into their podcast as well. Good group of guys. We were chatting that as well, and I said on theirs, Jason, that McCarthy was a total different signing. For me, James McCarthy, yes, it was obviously sanctioned by Ange, but I feel it was a board signing because Dermot Desmond's been crying out to sign McCarthy for years. He's always been in Celtic's list. Moy's only been in the list because of Ange. Ange has obviously signed him because he feels he can contribute. He wouldn't just sign him because Ange doesn't seem to me a pals that guy. If you're not good enough, you're not playing. And I think for me, Aaron Mooy's going to come in. He'll add a bit of steel. He's very good technically. He's a bit nasty in a way. He might not look it, but he's prone to a yellow card. he's prone to a yellow card. So he's done well for Brighton. He's done well in China when he played. Again, I can only go by for YouTube, and the Australian press, Jason, the Australian fans are all buzzing off him, saying he's one of the best players. So for me, it's all positive, Jason.
Aye. I don't see why people are negative about us signing a guy that's made nearly 100 appearances in the Premier League for 2 different clubs. I don't understand why that's a bad signing. The thing that stopped me when I went onto social media was that we were getting slagged off the team for the other side of the water for signing a guy that's 31-year-old, yet they've got 3 players on their books over the age of 31 that play regular football. So I had a chuckle at that one to begin with. But this isn't a signing that Andrews just went like that, oh, well, he's my mate for Australia and I'm going to sign him. He signed him because he knows he's going to do a job. He's obviously seen enough in McCarthy where he knows that McCarthy isn't going to cut it. I don't know. I still think he would do a job, but I'm not in that position. The difference with Mooy and McCarthy is McCarthy we always knew was a risk because he was never fit. Mooy, I've never known him before watching him doing Southampton to be an injury-prone player. I think it's exactly what we need. It's the type of signing we need. Somebody was saying on social media as well today, but he's not any better than what we've got. But he's not any worse than what we've got. He's exactly what we're needing. I think he's a perfect fit for us, to be honest. I think he's going to come in. He's took the year. He's going to come up here. I think he'll do well. I think it's a good signing. In regards to people being annoyed about the board, football's not for them. If they're annoyed at the board because we didn't win. If people are still annoyed at the board, it's because they've still got a beer on about 10 in a row. 10 in a row is gone. It's
gone. Right? We've just won a double. We're in the Champions League. It's gone.
Well, exactly. They're saying that, I think it was somebody who put up the saying that we've signed a defence that it was something 3 point, because Burnley was 3.5 million and then we've signed a free transfer. But we've also just spent 24 million on two players, 3 players, and then you've got what we spent last year. So they've backed him and they're continuing to back him, and they'll probably, and if this defender that we've signed is going to be worth his salt, what you think it will be, they'll sign him next year and all, because that's our plan. Where Andrew's being like that, I know I can't afford him this year, so I'll take him on loan and I'll sign him next year. So he's already planning for next year. We've not even kicked this year off. But for people that are annoyed at the board, I don't know. I can't really understand it. And I spoke to you about this before. I've spoken to you about it before. There is some Celtic fans that are so spoiled when it comes to Celtic because in the last 22 years, they've been that used to seeing us winning trophies. They don't know what it's like to actually not win anything.
Aye.
And I thought maybe there's no winning when we went with the 10 in a row year when we won a trophy that maybe bring them back into reality, but no. And sometimes I need to take a step back for it because I'm just like, because we weren't that great under Ronnie Dyler, let's be honest. Mm-hmm. We weren't that great. But it was a foregone conclusion we were going to win the league. But
see, as you say that, Jace, we weren't that good under Ronnie Dyler. He won 3 trophies in 2 years, mate.
I know.
Them across the water have brought in people like brother Pedro and the Magic Hat with a Warburton loaf packs on their head going to the games and all that as well. Remember they days? One of that far away. They weren't here laughing, right? Maybe they still used their loaf in. They got a decent manager in for them.
But then again, JP, I've just remembered there. He had that goal that was offside, done him out of the treble as well in the semi-final, remember?
Well, there you go, right? There's another. So, as much as people say, Ronnie Dyler wasn't a good manager, he won 3 trophies in 2 years. And see, for anybody that's sitting saying, I could have won the league again. No, you couldn't have, because that's how he was the Celtic manager and in the house talking about him.
We're no slagging the board here, right? But he get dealt with Kazim Richards and fucking Carlton Cole. Come on to fuck.
And he still won the league.
Carlton Cole, by the way, listen, the guy done a good career in West Ham and Chelsea. He done well for himself. But for Celtic, that wasn't that. I don't care what anybody says. I'm no in the know. I don't know what goes behind the scenes. But I know for a football fact that Ronnie Dyler was not a Carlton Cole signing. I just know what Carlton Cole is. He was finished at West Ham when he came to us. And then there was rumours about him getting back to West Ham. Kazim Richards is still playing. He's just been released with Derby off his contract. The 2 of them were hopeless, and we won the league with the 2 in the squad. So Dyler get backed, but he didn't get backed the way Rodgers get backed. He didn't get backed.
I
think he get backed the first year. I think Dyler get backed his first year because he managed to bring in, he brought in that, who was it? Johansson. He get him. Mm-hmm. He brought him, didn't he?
No, it was Lennon that signed him.
Was that Lennon that signed him?
Lennon signed him in the January before Delia came.
There you go, then. Actually,
well, Johansson played essentially a season. I think it was either a half a season or a season and a half. I'm not too sure. I can't remember what way it was about. But it was Lennon that signed Johansson for $2 million.
But I think looking back on it now, I think Dyler sort of started what will become.
Yep.
If you take away the 10 in a row, right? Dyler started, he modernised us a wee bit, and I don't think people. I think if he was more experienced, see if he maybe got the job the now when he's more experienced, it might have been different.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, and all that, you've got to remember, Ronnie wasn't given the backing that previous managers or the current manager or even Brendan had. Ronnie wasn't allowed to bring in his own coaches. He wasn't allowed to bring in there for Norway with him because he was an unknown. So guys like Peter Lawwell and Dermot Desmond probably weren't willing to blindly back him, as you said there, Ryan, about Ange being back blind. Ronnie wasn't hit that right away. He was given John Collins to work with. Now, as far as I'm led to believe, he's now got Efrain Suarez, who used to play for Celtic, as his number 2. Now, Ronnie's now, I want to say Standard Liège manager now, is he?
Aye.
He is, isn't he? He just took a Standard Liège job there, aye. And he was allowed to bring Efrain Suarez from America over to Belgium. People that say Ronnie Delia was a bad manager, again, Jess, you said it earlier on, football's not your thing, because he's done well. He won the league with Stromgård. He separated Mulder and Rosenborg for the first time in, I think it was like 15 years. So it was a humongous record or something, they two. It was like, they two were kind of like the old firm sort of thing. That dominated that league for quite a long time. And he just totally, he broke through a lot of youth, and everybody thought he was a maniac, just a lot of his antics and things that he would do and this and that. And he totally blew that league away that season when they won the league. And then that's what got him noticed. That's why. And then it's not until he becomes a Celtic manager you start hearing the stories about he was tipped to be Big Mialby's replacement for Lennon, and he was supposed to be coming to Celtic as Celtic's number 2 rather than Celtic's number 1. It just so happened that Neil Lennon wanted to move on to pastures new at that time. He thought he maybe took Celtic as far as he could take them and decided to go. They then had to pull the trigger and say, right, Ronnie, we want you to be the manager. After all, you were going to be part of the coaching team anyway. So, but he was given, as I say, but what he's done now is just totally phenomenal. He won the league. Did they not win that division there in America?
He did, aye. He won the league with that New York.
Yeah, the way the league works is it's like a pyramid system, isn't it? So that half of America play this side, and that half of America play that side, and then they meet in the middle when it comes to semi-finals and finals. Yeah, so that's quite a lot of football that his teams had to play, and they've still went on and won that league. That's phenomenal. And as I say, he'll probably do the same with Standard Liège. He'll probably improve him as well, because he seems to do that with the clubs that he's with.
JP, you don't get offered the Standard Liège job if you're a bad manager, mate, because that's a good club.
Not at all. Not at all. I know he was linked for the Hibs job and all that before Maloney got it, and like here. But again, any Celtic fan listening in there, anybody that says Ronnie Delia was a bad manager, you was well away taking up Kirby or something like that, because football's not your thing. Go and get a game of crosses with your pals there apart and pour some cold water in your head, maybe have a lie down or something while you're at it, because I'm fed up. Same with you, Ryan, as well, like hearing things about the Celtic board and this and that, and aye, okay. See if it wasn't for the Celtic board and the way Celtic are ran, a lot of people think about Martin O'Neill and, you know, he was a good manager, and no doubts about that. He left Celtic in the shit in terms of finances. He was just throwing money at things all the time. And I said it to Ryan earlier after this, obviously, privately. I says, apart from McGeady and Maloney, he wasn't really giving a lot of the younger boys a chance. He would rather go and spend 6 million on a striker, or 5 million on a midfielder, or 3.5 million on a defender, or 4 million on a fullback. That's what he was. But he was trying to build Celtic into the sort of Champions League. But then again, back then, guys, you've got to remember as well, the maybe the finance gap and stuff probably wasn't the excess of what it is now. In terms of, you know, we were able to go and spend 6 million on Sutton and 6 on Hartson and 5 on Lennon and then go into the Champions League and actually compete with these teams, stand their own ground. And then you look at the Brendan Rodgers side of it, when you go in and try and play an attractive brand of football, you get your pants pulled down and your bum scalped, because the financial gap in terms of buying quality is just totally light years away from us now. So but he did leave us in the shit in terms of finances. And if the club wasn't run properly, then we would have probably went the same way as a big goose did. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the way it could have went before the budget saved us in the 90s. So,
see, in regards to Martin O'Neill, but what you're saying, JP, as much as he signed some good players, he signed some shite, I know.
No, I know.
Fucking David Fernandez and Momo Salah and fucking...
Big Momo was decent, Jace. I thought Big Momo was decent. He put in a couple of good shots.
Steve Guppy and all, wasn't that? He wasn't the greatest either.
He was his blue-eyed boy at Leicester, wasn't he? So...
But no, I'm never going to sit here and slag Matt O'Neill, do you know what I mean? Because I do believe that he...
No, I don't want to slag him, but he did leave his, in my
Again,
opinion, he
no,
left us in shit financially. Because
I think he came in and sort of changed. That's when I think the pendulum swung from us being the dominant side.
Well, I mean, we lost the season before we got him, Jace. What did we lose the league with? 25 points, 23 points? It was just astronomical.
That's
it was crazy.
Why they are still going about, you know, back when we had this and we had that and all that. They're still talking about that then.
I know, but little did we know then fucking Govan was a tax haven. Do you know what I mean? So it's no, like they were up to the EBTs were flying out the window.
I just feel like the Celtic board could go and sign Ronaldo and Messi, and there would still be somebody going like that, but you're not backing them enough.
No.
I understand. Listen, we've all got opinions about football, and I'm never going to slaughter anybody for their opinion or give them jip about it. In the day, we're all football fans. We all pay our season books. We pay our TV. You've got your opinion. We all don't agree with some opinions I see social media. I think they're absolutely fucking wild. But again, people's opinions, my opinions could be wild. People might tune into this and go, Ryan, you're full of shite. I might be full of shite. But you're listening to me, so thanks a lot, mate. But on Dyla, I think he was maybe the right manager at the right time. The right manager at the right time. I think his methods that he put into the club were spot on, and you hear some interviews for players now, and even they says it wasn't him, it was the players just weren't good enough. The players that was getting just weren't good enough. Same with Tony Mowbray, I think they spoke about that as well, saying his methods were right and what he wanted to do, but he just didn't have the players to play what he wanted to play. Again, you can maybe give the board jip through certain things, but on right now, for what they've done for last season and this year, and what Michael Nicholson has come in and done, until they're proven otherwise for the rest of the year or 2 or 3 seasons in the line, I'm not going to say anything bad about the board or Ange or any player he signs, because we've just won a domestic double and we're into the glory haven of the Champions League. I
think as well though, right, is that fans think we've got £40 million. Aye, but that's not just to go on transfers.
It's no.
You've got a wage bill. I mean, our wage bill must be about 15 million, and the rest maybe.
It was all in. Aye, that's maybe just players wise, maybe. Before Ange came in, including I think staff and backroom staff and the canteen staff, and all, I think it was like £60 million. For a club like Celtic to pay £60 million and not really do much in Europe as well, that for me that's mental. That's so crazy.
And Fraser said it last week. I know it's like football clubs run a year in advance, so Celtic are like, right, well, this is what they could have. They've obviously worked out what they could spend this transfer window last year. So let me find next year about that. We've got an extra 10 million to spend next year because they'll have the Champions League money.
You've got to realise as well that, as I said it on Twitter, you can't expect every signing to be 4 million, 6. You can't go and spend money, and see when you get a bargain. For me, Aaron Mooy's a bargain at the price. Free transfer. It's an absolute bargain. It's a no-brainer. McCarthy at the time was a no-brainer. Anybody that says it wasn't, that's your opinion. But my opinion was McCarthy was experienced. The only reason McCarthy might not be up to the stats is because for months he was without a club. You can only train so much yourself, but I think McCarthy can still do a job. But I said it to Paddy and Gavin on their podcast before I come on here, that for me, Aaron Mooy is ahead of Gucci and he's ahead of McCarthy right away, in my opinion. I've not seen much of Gucci and nobody has, but for what I've seen for Aaron Mooy, obviously Aaron Mooy will take a few weeks to get fit, because I think he's not touched the ball in a few weeks. But if Aaron Mooy's fully fit, for what I know for Aaron Mooy, he's better than McCarthy and Gucci on form, in my opinion. McCarthy at his peak was good, but you're not going to get McCarthy's peak anymore. If Aaron Mooy comes back to the Mooy that we know, it's an absolute steal at a free transfer. And he's not going to be getting 40 grand a week, 30 grand a week. He's made his money in China. He may be getting, I don't know, he's getting, just say give or take 50 grand a week. He's not going to come here getting mega money. He's a free transfer. I do believe that he'll do well here. Ange when he sign him, if he didn't think he would contribute. And the boy Lenz, JP, again, I don't really think it's a risk. You're getting him an option to buy. If he fails, and doesn't do well, you've only been given up a wage. You're not paying a mega transfer fee. Obviously, giving out a wage to somebody fails, disappointing. It's no ideal. It's wasted money. But it's a trial and error. If it doesn't turn out well, back to your club. Same with Jota and Vickers. They don't do well, back to your club. But they two, I kind of think it's maybe the same situation as Vickers, JP. He done well at Bournemouth, but his few loan spells didn't really do well. Didn't cut it at Spurs. Came to us and look up now. I believe with Celtic, I've got a Premier League centre back for very, very cheap. The same as Joe Hart. We got a Premier League goalkeeper for £1 million. People were actually batting their eyelids. But again, this just shows you how some fans can think about football. Fans were turning their nose up at £1 million Joe Hart. How can you turn experienced internationalist? Joe Hart's probably his peak now, by the way he's been playing. I'm not saying he's at his peak as in Man City peak, but he's no declining. And the thing on Joe Hart that I want to make about pre-season games, that the way he's been playing, JP, similar to Craig Gordon. Craig Gordon got gypped because he was kicking the ball out the park and he was misplacing passes, but he was only doing what Brendan Rodgers asked him to do. And Joe Hart's only doing what Andrew's asked him to do, which is play for the back and play out to the wings. And that's, listen, fans need to rein in this season, because we're going to get, I'll say give or take, 3 or 4 silly, stupid fucking goals to passing for the back. It's going to happen. And buckle up, because we're going to shout at our tellies, Joe Hart's pish and Vickers' pish and Starfelt's pish, because they've give away a silly pass, a silly goal. It's going to happen. We're going to get punished with better teams. But that's because, JP, I can give and take that, because it's the way the manager wants to play. They're not doing it because they're bad players. They're doing it because they're crying, but the manager's trying them and asking what to do.
Mm-hmm. Aye, totally on your point about Big Jens. First and foremost, he looks like a big bit of a boy. He looks like a big lad. I've only seen me clips here and there of him, and what I've saw him, he looks very physical, very aggressive. Now that's music to our ears, because we kind of need somebody that's aggressive. He can step out the ball as well, right, and play into the six, which is very good. His range of passing is very good as well. He can play with both feet, so he can also. I know Celtic were looking for a left centre back, but he can also play really well on his left foot as much as he can on his right, which is a Brucey bonus for us. I don't really know a lot about him, but going with what I've read up on him and going with what I've watched on him, he looks like a big bit of lad. That's where he can come here and settle pretty quickly. Obviously, Ange must rate the boy. It was interesting to hear what the boy said in his interview earlier on, because he stated that he nearly signed for us a year ago. So, and obviously he's a good friend with Matt O'Reilly. Now, like I said earlier on, Jace, I don't know if he means a year ago as in a year in the calendar year, or a year ago as in just last season, maybe the January one day when Matt O'Reilly came, but the two of them played together at Fulham. So Matt knows quite a lot about the boy. And I think Matt sort of edged him towards getting his agent to get him a move, and obviously Ange likes what he sees. I think what we need to take for it, lads, is Ange just put in a clause which is an option to buy at the end of the clause. That wouldn't be there for a reason. For no reason, sorry. It wouldn't be there for no reason. So obviously Ange must see something in the lad to go, it's a try before you buy, really, isn't it? We've done the same with Big Carter Vickers. So obviously Ange must see something in the boy enough to go, right, he's the right type of player. But again, lads, the big thing to take for the two interviews earlier on, they want to be here. That's key in what Ange is trying to do as well. He doesn't want guys that are going to use what we saw it a couple of weeks ago. Ange said it himself, I could have signed Paddy Roberts, but after talking to him for 5 minutes, I knew Paddy wasn't wholeheartedly set on just being with Celtic. He was always looking for that other, or Ange could maybe sniff something off that. And it was the same with Riley McGree. No, he obviously, just because he was a fellow countryman, you said it yourself, Ryan, it's not a pals act for him, mate. He's not going to pick you to play, mate, if he doesn't think you're not capable of doing it. He's brought Aaron Mooy in because he knows he's good. He knows his quality. That's why he's brought Aaron Mooy in. We're getting into the Champions League group stage, lads, for the first time in 5 years. He signed Aaron Mooy based on his ability, not based on, oh, he's 31 or he's this or he's that. I couldn't care less if he was 31 or 21. I can guarantee right now he's going to play. So he's coming in to play. He's not coming in to sit on the bench and warm his stone and sit on his mobile phone like Elanushi got caught doing when he was, remember when he got took off against, was it Cluj? So he's not going to be doing any of that. He's coming here to play. You'd be silly to think otherwise. His passing range is unbelievable. Go and do your homework. Don't just sit on social media and go, do you know what, I'm just going to sit and make up a pile of shit here and go, bum. There you go. And just make yourself look like a tit. When the guy goes out and starts lifting up trophies and winning medals, and because see all the ones that put him down, when we were linked and it was this was happening and that was happening, they were all out today giving it, oh, welcome to the club, and see that. I wouldn't buy you your head. Know what I mean? Because that for me, you just jump on a gravy train because somebody says something and it sounds good. Oh, I'll go along with that too. No, use your own mind and think. If you know football, you don't doubt this guy 1%. Not 1% of you doubting this guy, because he's only just left that Chinese club a couple of weeks ago. So his fitness isn't going to be miles and miles behind. So again, a bit similar to McCarthy there. McCarthy hadn't properly kicked the ball off. Let's face it, he hadn't kicked the ball off for a while. There's people are going like that. How are they not giving into the team straight away? Because the team's fucking prepared up to now for what, 3-4 weeks down the line now. So it would be disrespectful to the group, in my opinion, to go, right, do you know what? You need to come out and you need to come out because they two are coming in. So they're being left to train with Anton and the sports scientists and the fitness mob to get them up to speed. Personally, to what Ange is ready to do, and then they'll be integrated into the group. Because I've seen that as well, that obviously people are moaning about how's Jens not coming straight in because obviously Stephen Welsh is this and that, blah, blah, blah. No, Stephen Welsh has been working his backside off for the last 4 weeks. It's disrespectful. Even if the boys know, but we've all got an opinion saying the boys not good enough to come into the team and regularly and do this and do that. I'm in the house talking about these boys. These boys are out making a living doing it today. So they're doing something different for me. But to play what we want, to do what we want as a team, in my opinion, Stephen Welsh does not have the attributes to take us to that level. He might be good against St Johnstone and Rod. No disrespect to the teams either, but they have lesser quality of players to hurt a guy like Stephen Welsh in terms of Erling Haaland or Mo Salah or Kylian Mbappe or Kevin De Bruyne. These guys will absolutely end Stephen Welsh if Stephen Welsh is allowed to enter the pitch against these guys. They'll totally end the boy's career there and then. And it's a shame to do that to the boy. So you need to bring in a boy that's better than Stephen Welsh to be able to handle the occasion. So we're not downing Stephen Welsh. We're only stating that he doesn't have the ability to play at that top level.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but it's just a fact.
No,
that's just having a football knowledge and brain, and you can see that.
It's not me slagging Stephen Welsh. I'm not saying he's a bad footballer. All I'm saying is he's not that good to play. He's not good enough to play in the Champions League, along with some others who are in the squad.
I will say this, but
and that's why Ange has now brought in Moritz Jens, because he knows himself. He obviously doesn't fancy Chris Julian, right? Fair enough. But he was nearly out the door a fortnight ago, so it's quite obvious that Ange doesn't fancy him. And if Stephen Welsh is getting in ahead of you when this club paid £7 million for you,
there's a problem.
the penny must drop somewhere along the lines to say, right, big man, your tea's out here. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to be fancied at all. And now the fact that he's brought Moritz Jens in, it now puts them on the back burner again. But like I says, let me make this clear. I'm not downing Stephen Welsh whatsoever. I actually think Stephen Welsh is okay, but okay isn't going to cut it in the Champions League. Being okay isn't going to cut it when you're playing against guys like De Bruyne and Haaland and Sadio Mane for Bayern Munich and Lewandowski at Barcelona. And
see, that's
these guys will just terrorise you. They will embarrass you if you give them a sniff. That's how you need guys who are better. Sorry, right. You need guys who are better on the ball to play the way Ange wants to play in tight areas to make it harder for these guys slightly difficult for these guys to then impose their game on you.
No, you're right, mate. You're right. As I says, I know you slaughter players' performances and game criticism. It's not personal. You're doing it because you're just wanting the best for your club, and you realise Stephen Welsh, listen, I've said it plenty of times, he's not going to play with Celtic week in, week out. He's okay as a backup if need be for injuries, but can we rely on if Starfelt's injured and Jens comes in, right, fair enough, Julian is not going to be here because I think I feel from away because I think, how would you feel as well, lads, if you get told, listen, you got to Schalke, your head's on going to Germany, it's failed, and then having to come back to the club that doesn't want you. It must be hard for him as well, doing that as well, and then having to, I know you've got to be professional and switch on your professional mind and go and continue to play, but it must be hard when you know your fans are getting you jip on social media that he's not interested. I don't believe he's not interested. I just think it must be in his head that, am I staying, am I gone, am I staying, am I gone? It must be fucking hard. But on Stephen Welsh, I think for him to progress in his career, I think he'd be better off going somewhere to play week in, week out, and then maybe come back and maybe he's good enough. I don't know. But as it stands now, I don't see him playing week in, week out with Celtic. He's a backup choice for injuries. And will I be confident in Stephen Welsh can win to play IE against Benfica or Porto, whoever it is we get in Champions League? No, I'm not. Especially away from home in Europe because, like JP says, similar to Ralston against Neymar, Ralston get tore apart with Neymar, and I think after that, I don't think he played there for a long, long time because it tore him to shreds. And people think that this doesn't happen. It can happen. These guys mentally can fucking do you in. Imagine playing against Ronaldo against Stephen Welsh. He's mentally he's done in. But this is what you're trying to say. You're no slagging these guys. You're just saying they're not good enough to play at that level. They might be good enough to play with Aberdeen every week. That was just arguing, by the way. That's not me saying Aberdeen's not good enough because Aberdeen is better than what I'm fucking doing. It's still a top level.
You see quickly you're saying there about the mentality side. That just see the game at Ibrox when we beat him 2-1 there. Mm-hmm. See when Juranovic get caught for their opening goal.
But he recovered for it.
Do you know he was angry for? I heard he was angry for about 10 days after that, just for that moment.
Aye. But
that really got to him.
But seeing his performance
after that. But see that, exactly. That's the difference, right? Is Juranovic has got the experience and all that he can just put at. That will not happen again. Whereas I think Welsh, if he went out against Ronaldo in the first 5 minutes and get rinsed and get told a new one, he'd put that for the next 90 minutes. Mm-hmm. I can't get all that.
But this is why guys like Juranovic and Vickers, they're playing at the top level. Listen, like you says, that's just against Stephen Welsh. It's just a point about, obviously, we're mentioning it. I think Stephen Welsh is a good player, but no for Celtic.
He actually did a good game on Saturday. Right?
Yeah, he done all right. I was just about to say that myself.
And talk about the Blackpool, the Rapid Vienna game has been and gone, but the only thing I can say about the Rapid Vienna game, I said it on the group chat, and again, I said it on my Paddy and Gavin on the Jungle Jones podcast. I'm no one to slaughter people, right? But I'm going to slaughter them. Big Udinese is pony. He's not going to play Celtic, Jason. Nobody is going to tell me different. No, I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert, right?
Do you Do you think he gave him they 90 minutes and they 2 friendlies to put him on the window?
That's what I think, mate. Because I don't think he's not going to play Juranovic.
He's third choice. He's third choice right back.
Juranovic is Celtic's right back. Juranovic is probably the best right back in Scotland. Well, he is the best right back in Scotland. He's different gravy on his. Aye, against Vienna, he had a few sloppy game bits and bobs. But listen, he's just back for fucking. He's just been off. He's back fit now. He'll be right back going forward. Ralston, I still think the Ralston positional can be a bit dodgy sometimes, but he's an able right back to step in.
You're not worried. You're not worried if you're worried. You're not worried if Juranovic's injured because you know that Ralph's not going and you're going to be all right.
The right back is somewhat like Stephen Welsh. He's not good enough to play weekend with Celtic. I put it to the guys on another podcast. I'll put it to you too. I think I said it as well, right? See if you look at the right back, right, and he's playing in another team now, right? He's played 26 games. He's 22-year-old, I think. 22. Mm-hmm. He's only played 26 first-team games. He's went on loan to a club. I don't know if he played every week with him. I don't think he did. And he's come back to Celtic. Would you sign him? No. So why is he good enough to step in and play with the first team? He's
never on a month of Sundays.
It's the same with with James Forrest, right? I said it to Paddy and Gav as well, right? James Forrest, as it stands now, right? For the last 2.5 to 3 years, I think he's. I don't quote me. Nobody hit me with stats. I've not looked at the full. I should probably look at the full stats for him to comment. But give or take, he's maybe scored 10 goals in 3.5 seasons, maybe roughly. Assist wise, maybe I don't know, 12 assists, something like that in 3.5 years. So
you've got to look at something. But I'm going to stop you there, Ryan. Right, you've got to look at some of the goals he scored.
I'm not talking about previous. I'm talking about. So how does that? See if you look at his stats, right? In the last 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Is that warranting a new deal? No. So why are fans going? So why are some fans going? Oh, experience and know-how, brilliant. But you're not going to get James Forrest is not going to get back to the James Forrest, i.e. because of injuries, and it could be as mentally as well. He did get by a few men against Blackburn, but I still think he's towing a caravan. I don't think he's fit yet. I don't think he's fine fit. He's lost a bit of weight and he's looking trim and he's looking sharp. But for me, Jota and Abada are shoots ahead of him. James Forrest is never going to be a mainstay in my team, but I'm no Ange. This is just me, I'm a fan. To my opinion, James Forrest did not want a 3-year deal. Scott Bain did not want a 3-year deal. The new deal he got, wild. I know he's good maybe behind the scenes, but I'm not wanting guys to be paid for on the scenes. I'm paying guys to play football. And I know you need a third choice goalkeeper. You need a fourth choice goalkeeper. I understand that. But Scott Bain is third choice for a reason under Brendan Rodgers. Because he's not good enough. So why is he good enough now to get a 3-year deal? I'm not going to question Ange, but I find it very hard why you get a 3-year deal. There's obviously things in between the lines why he got a new deal. Was it because he didn't know if we're going to get a new goalkeeper? I don't know. But on the Blackburn game, Jason, I don't know what you thought of the Blackburn game. First half, I thought the football was good. Very, very good, actually, against a very decent Blackburn team. I thought the guy up front for Blackburn, I think I said to you in the group chat before it, the boy Diaz is a belter. I would happily say him, but he would cost you mega money. He's very, very good. He plays with Chile, I think, every week. When they play, he's very, very good. Blackburn, decent team, put the boot in. It was a good test for us to put a bit of marker down for the physical side, which I think some fans, especially on social media, were, they're putting the boot in. I'm like, well, we need a test like that because we don't put the boot in enough. I've said it before, we're no nasty enough. We're very, very good on the ball and very good technically. But when it comes to that, I think we need to do a bit more, especially when it comes to Europe. Second half, Jason, we all know it's going to go downhill because you make changes. It's pre-season. It happens. I'm not saying concerned. That's not the word. You've got to highlight what you see. I know it's pre-season and the guys are rusty and they're leading up to but you're 2 weeks away and you're making silly mistakes at the back. That's no really good. It's not a concern. You're just highlighting what you've seen for the game. And I thought the last 15 to 20 minutes, people might shoot me down for this and might say I'm full of shite. It reminded me of the Neil Lennon pin the row defence. Chasing the ball like fucking lost puppies, kicking the ball at the park, misplacing tackles. I'm like, fuck me, settle down. But this is, for me, it shows you why Vickers and Starfelt are the two. It just shows that maybe the third and fourth choice coming in aren't up to standard, i.e. Julian and Welsh. But again, it's only pre-season. I'm trying my best not to criticise too much, but you can only comment on what you see. And I thought bits and bobs of the Vienna game as well, defensively, were very, very poor. Conceding silly, stupid goals. I hope that's getting out the wider now before it goes to the league games.
Aye, I thought the first half of it, apart from the first 30 seconds, where I don't know when they scored, I don't know what they were doing. That was just about
by the way, on that, Jason, I don't want to criticise too much, but I'm going to criticise it because I thought that goal was fucking embarrassing. And I don't think fans have not spoken about it enough just because it's pre-season. McGregor is going to get shite for it because he fucking misplaced control. And they two forwards against 5-year batting. And he still scored.
When does Callum McGregor ever make a mistake like that? So I'll take it in pre-season. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But I thought the last 20 minutes, I thought the back line was very amateurish football. It was very panicked. Julian, I just don't think. I think he does elsewhere. I don't. It's when Starfelt comes back, he's effectively fourth choice or fifth choice now, isn't he? You know what I mean?
I'd imagine so, mate.
But I think going forward, we were very good. I think Jota looked very, very fit. He actually tore that. He terrorised that boy doing that wing, by the way. He looked really good when he came on. So going forward, I've not got an issue. I thought that they'd done all right until he made all the changes, to be honest. But it is concerning at how we do lose. We gave their second goal. I've watched it back a few times and I don't know what he's doing with that foul. It's a pointless foul that he's gave. And then you see if that happens in a European game, he's getting dogs abuse, by the way, because he didn't need to make the foul, I don't think. But I also thought that I thought Seacrest was very, very good when he came on, by the way. I don't think that's been spoken about enough.
Do you know, I know it was I thought of it. I know JP, it was a very good goal, mate, right? Do you know what you should do better with free kick? Goalkeeper.
It's too hard, mate. No chance. He's put 2 goalies in there, he's not saving that, mate.
I think he's seen it very late.
But you know, because
if you compare the 2 goals, Turnbull's to the boy Diaz that scores the 2 goals. Turnbull's is powder puff compared to the second for that boy Diaz.
I'm just asking the point.
See, you know that you've mentioned David Turnbull. I think he's looking absolutely phenomenal in this pre-season, by the way. I think he's scored in three out of the 4 games that we've played.
I rate Turnbull very highly, mate. And
I don't think David Turnbull gets enough credit, by the way, for what he actually does in that team.
See when he's fit, see before he got injured, played every game under Ange. So Ange rates him. And every game he's been fit, just about he's either come on off the bench or he started.
I hear people going back, he's no scored against Rangers, right?
Who says that?
I've heard it on Twitter and all that, people going, but he doesn't score against Rangers. And
it still has job to score goals against Rangers. That's Kyogo and Jack and Maxey's job.
But Ryan, look how many goals he gets us though. And you miss it. You miss it when he's not in that team. I don't care what anybody says. You miss how many the goals he gets. I think Hatate, they're different. I don't know, man. They're different players.
He's a different level, Jace.
Oh, mate, 100%.
Oh, no, he's a different. I've actually had a conversation with one of my mates, and I actually says the two's agreed that it's going to be between Hatate and O'Reilly for Player of the Year this coming season.
O'Reilly, I know, mate. $1.5 million.
Different gravy.
But I do think that
talk about recruitment.
I do think that the team's looking, on the whole, I think they're looking quite fit and quite sharp. And I think the more game, I think they'll look even more quicker and even more sharp.
I don't know much about Legia. I know they gave us a doing the last time we played them again. We were early stages with Ronnie Deal at the time, and it was just flung into the deep end. But I don't really know too much about him. I know obviously Juranovic played with him for a season, and then he joined us. Obviously, you know, Big Boric has been with him, but again, I don't know in terms of Europe. No, I don't know where their current stance is. Or I'll be perfectly honest. I don't really know too much about them now. I know there was bad blood between the 2 clubs the last time we met, didn't there? in terms of the fans and.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think that JP Ryan. I don't think he should make as many changes on these next two pre-season friendlies. I think he should start playing the team that he thinks is going to start against Aberdeen.
I agree.
Did Callum not actually score against them? He opened the scoring against them for us, didn't he? And they gave us a doing.
I did.
McGregor started. He was only a boy, obviously, but they beat us
5-1. They beat us 5-1 or something there.
Was it no 4? I thought it was 3 or 4 they took off us. And then they took 3 or 4 off us at Murrayfield as well.
I went to that game and walked to about 60 minutes, man, because I'd seen enough. But
Murrayfield?
Aye.
I hope you didn't walk at him, mate. It's miles away.
No. But I think...
Especially on a summer's night like we're getting now, you know what I mean?
I think the next two friendly, he should play the team that he thinks is going to be starting against Aberdeen and sort of try to get him maybe 65, 70 minutes, maybe 75 minutes. I don't really see the point in playing Vatas and all that now because they're not going to play much. Let's be honest, Lobo and all that, they're not going to play much. I think he should play. Or if Mooy and that are fit and ready to play in Saturday.
They're not wearing Memora, so him and Jens aren't wearing Memora.
They might be all right to go in the Norwich game, so I'd maybe give them a wee shot maybe in the Norwich game, see how they got on.
I think Jens is okay, Chase. Is what I'm gathering for the two interviews, mate. I think Aaron Mooy's a wee bit behind in terms of he left that mob in China a few weeks ago, and he stated in the Celtic TV interview that he's been a couple of weeks without the ball. So I think he's a wee bit behind where, and again, mate, I think it's just dead disrespectful just now in terms of the boys, all the boys that are putting in a heart. I mean, they done a training thing in front of the fans on Monday there, so I just think it's very disrespectful. In my opinion, it's very disrespectful to the boys that are busting their arse, even if the boys aren't going to be good enough to play, but yet they've still come in. Because I'd be chatting the manager's door going like, hold on a minute, I've been here in Austria with you, here in Poland with you, busting my boys, and you've brought these two boys in and they stroll.
But here's a question.
Longer term, obviously that's what's going to happen, but
here's a
if I was one of the fringe players, let's say for talk's sake, I think I'd be going and having a chat with the manager and saying, right, I've been trying to catch your eye for the last couple of weeks. You've given me a couple of games. I think I've showed up pretty well. So all of a sudden your mate for the Australian team comes in and a big boy you tried to sign last season. So what do I need to do to get in your team? That's me as a person. Because I know for a fact that would be me. I'd be chatting, I'd be like, I want to go. And what's the script? You know what I mean? I'd be up at the door and I'd have it out and just say, right, I've been busting my boys, so why is it? So that's what I'm thinking. I just think it might come across as a bit disrespectful that they just get flung in then. But I do think the big boy Jens he'll get some time and maybe Saturday coming. But obviously, I do think Aaron Mooy's going to be. And see, this is where it starts to lead into the scary territory, because as much as me saying that, I think Aaron Mooy's going to be after that again. Well, a week later, it's a week on Sunday, the league starts. So, are we going to have another James McCarthy where Aaron Mooy's new in, but he's going to take a couple of weeks to get up to speed? Can we afford that? Is it going to be a luxury, as in he's going to come in and show up well? I don't know, like similar to like fucking Moravchik or something like a revelation come the Champions League games and he'll turn it on against all the big teams? Or is he going to be another James McCarthy? Is it going to be that he's going to take a while to get up to speed and he just doesn't get going? I really hope that's not going to happen to him, because like I said earlier, he is absolute quality if you go and do your homework on him. So it'll be interesting with Mooy, but I do think I don't think Mooy's going to be ready for. The two of them aren't playing tomorrow. I know for a fact they're not in Poland with him, because the big fella Big Jens, he was talking about joining the team on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I think he mentions it in his interview. Mooy didn't mention. He just says, I'm looking forward to starting to train with the team. But he didn't put a sort of timeline on it, which kind of makes me think he's going to be a wee bit behind Jens as well, which is, it can be, like I say, lads, it might be hitting scary territory there, because I want him ready for Aberdeen. I want him to come in and because you're hearing all these reports and all this hearsay about, Lange, he's got a different tactic now. He's been working with the players. I think you mentioned it earlier, Ryan. He's looking at a new system, a 4-2-3-1, and Hatati's been playing in the 10 position. So if he's looking at a 4-2-3-1, McGregor's only one in the two that can have for the 4-2. Who's the other one?
Mooy.
If Hatati's in the 10, who's the other one? So why else is he signed Darren Mooy?
Here's a question for you then. Who plays beside Carter Vickers against Aberdeen? Jens or Welsh?
Jens.
It's got to be Jens. It's got to be. I know what JP's saying, that Welsh is obviously burst his bollocks and he's trained hard, etc. But you're signing a guy to play him. You're signing this guy to play him. Obviously, if Starfelt, listen, see if this guy Jens can win, give or take, against Aberdeen and does well again in the next game, and then at Ross County, Starfelt's going to be on the bench. You can't drop him. This is a new season. Starfelt done well last year, but if this boy Jens can win and hits the ground running, he's in the team.
No, of course, it's the jersey says.
Jersey has to lose.
I think with this talking about with Welsh and all of that, I think it just makes it clear to me that he isn't good enough if he's been out and signed a centre half.
But see, be fair, but even though we're signing Lenz, I still believe we need our centre back. Personally, I don't think we can go in. Is Julian going to be here? We don't know as well. I think Welsh will be here. I don't think there's any reason why. I don't think Welsh will be going anywhere. I think it'll be Julian that might go. So you're going to have Vickers, Starfelt, Jens, Welsh, and Julian's 5 centre backs.
That big Lowell, I know.
I'm still classing him as a B team player, right? I know he's moved up to the first team. Right?
He was very raw.
I don't think he's good enough yet. I think he's got to maybe go to a party first or an Aberdeen to get experience. He's only a young boy, so I think it'd be very hard for him to jump.
Is he not hitting an age where it's going to be very hard for him to continue playing in a B team?
I think he's maybe going to go to a team on loan. If it is maybe Aberdeen or St Mirren.
What you're talking about players going out on loan. When they were at Celtic, we didn't were that good. Look at Big Aya. He went to Kilmarnock and came back and.
Behind his Aya, but Aya played every week, remember as well. And he was told by Rodgers, go and play, and you'll come back and play. So
I think that's what they've said to Aberdeen with Scales, but they'll play him at left centre back. Just play him at left centre back.
I know I agree. Greg Taylor a bit of shit, right? But Greg Taylor's better than Liam Scales. You know what I mean? Scales is going to find it hard to play with Celtic now, in my opinion. Because Bernabei, for me, once he gets his time and he settles in, going forward, he's very good. Defensively, he's obviously got to...
He nearly scored on Saturday, I know, by the way.
He's very, very quick. He's very quick going forward. He's got an eye for goal for what I'm seeing. He likes to go forward. I think, I've already said, I think JP, I said to you as well, he's not signing this guy for Arsenal for $3.5 million and not playing him. I do believe that.
I do think that Greg Taylor's made that position his own on his own merit, because I thought Greg Taylor was phenomenal last year. I really did.
Listen, I agree with you. I know I'm not his biggest fan, but I agree with you. But as soon as Bernabei settles here, for me, Bernabei's your left back. He's not coming here for $3.5 million not to play. Not a chance, unless he doesn't show up in training. That's different. But he signed him for a reason to play.
I think this year there's going to be a rotation is going to be massive,
mate.
This year
there's going to be a lot of rotation. I think me and JP spoke about it because of obviously Europe and the domestic cups, and guys will be tired, especially up front. Kyogo and Jack and Marcus, I think, will be swapping a lot.
I still think we need another striker, I know, by the way.
See if I'm going
to
McGiddy, JP, I want another defender, I want another winger, and I want another striker. But am I going to get it? You might get one more player, because let's be fair, I know we've made money, but you can't just go out and spend money because you need possession. You need to balance it out, and the dead wood are still got to go. You've still got a Yeti land there picking up a wage. He's got to go. You know what I mean? Some of the youth boys might go on loan. I
was talking to Fraser the other night about a Yeti, and I was at that as a radio coming from. He's at that nothing. Nobody's even interested in him. How can you sell somebody like that? But
that goes for what we said the other day, JP. Just because we want him away doesn't mean he's going to go. Somebody's got to want him. The Celtic can't. I think he's maybe got a year. He signed a 4-year deal. He's been here 2 years now, so he's got 2 years left in his deal. I think he's on about 15, 18 a week, give or take. Celtic just can't go at him, pay you up. Celtic can't do that. You can't pay. Is that about £2 million a year? Roughly, I don't know the wages.
He was a £5 million player. He was a £5 million signing. So he's on fucking some wage, by the way.
So I don't know what you think about what we spoke with JP, but I do believe that the squads, as it stands, it's okay to go and play Aberdeen. European wise, I think we need maybe another 2 signings just to show us up.
Aye, in terms of the squad, we're good enough to go and start the league, no bother, not a problem domestically. In terms of the Champions League, I still think we're really light. But again, he's instilled a belief in this current squad, with this current crop of players, that they're getting into games where they don't fear anybody. And that's the motto, the mantra is we never stop. The signings Ange's made, in my opinion, have progressed the team, not regressed the team. Mm-hmm. So we're stronger now than what we were last season. And we thought we were good last season. So for the domestic campaign coming ahead, in my opinion, we are too strong for any of the league. And it doesn't matter what team we want to name. But our squad is better than any of the other squads in the league. I know Hibs have recruited well, and Aberdeen have both players, and Hearts have both players, and this, that, and that. They're nowhere near the quality we've got. Nobody's got Jota, the level. Nobody's got Kyogo at that level. Nobody's got Carter Vickers at that level. Nobody's got Juranovic at that level. Nobody's got Joe Hart at that level. Mm-hmm. See where I'm going with this? Mm-hmm. Nobody's got that level of quality in their team. Nobody's got Giakoumakis. So, apart from Celtic. So, Giakoumakis said it last season, he thought Celtic were the best team. He was only giving his opinion. But yeah, he was labelled as very disrespectful and this, that, and the next thing.
But guess what? He was fucking right.
Of course he was. Of course he was. He was only saying what was reality. It wasn't like he was fabricating something. I seen a headline today. I can't remember if it was me. I think it was me put it on. The SPFL News social media page. That mob across the water are back in the Champions League.
I've seen that.
Are they, aye? Because as far as I remember, they've got 2 qualifiers to play before they get to the Champions League. It's just embarrassing. Like, hitting out with shite before things happen is just totally embarrassing. Totally embarrassing. Because it wouldn't be like something like that to happen and then they end up with egg in their face. Because let's face it, it's happened quite a lot recently.
They thought Malmo was a given, didn't they?
See this team they've got, by the way, they're no mugs. You don't get promoted and finish second if you're shite.
See, I don't know anything
about them, Jason. I don't know anything about them at all. My naivety is going to come into play there in terms of the Belgian football, because I lost interest when Jack Hendry signed for Club Brugge. And he plays week in and week out, and they won the league. So I still find it hard to believe that Jack Hendry still gets a game at that kind of level, and Jack Hendry's going to win the Champions League, because Jack Hendry, when he get a game of 5 a size with my nephew, and he's 14.
Now, JP, you can't.
No, again, a bit like Stephen Welsh, it's just been reality. Every time Jack Hendry plays for Scotland, I jump behind the couch. I keep thinking that we've got the wrong Hendry. I think we need Stephen Hendry because we need fucking Snickers.
Has he not been bombed out at Club Bruges? Was I know something in the paper and he came out and was pure said that he should be playing, and that manager's like that. Well, no, you shouldn't.
I can't tell you, mate, but I understand that he played a hefty amount of games for them last season because I actually saw you get rinsed a cracker with Mbappe in the Champions League. Mm-hmm. Don't know if any of you have seen it.
See that Japanese centre half we were linked with? We were talking about in the chat the other day. He was on loan to them, man. He was on loan to that team, to that mob. They've got the Champions League last year.
Yeah, that's right. Aye. No, listen. Today, what they've done, right? I know obviously what they've done in quick succession. You must have something about you, but they also must have a good backing as well, mate. So you're not able to just do that with just raw talent, and you must be able to buy a level of quality to take you to that sort of level. Otherwise,
but I'm also in the belief as well that
you can't have a team of Stephen Welsh's to fucking all of a sudden become miraculously brilliant. You must have a good backing to take you up a level.
There's no mugs in this stage at Europe. This is these next two rounds are this is where the big boys start to come in. I mean, you've got Monaco and PSV playing in the third qualifying round for the Champions League.
But that just shows you how hard it is. But for people, listen, I know we've been beat after some ridiculous teams, right? Guys like fucking Copenhagen and all that, and whatever else, and teams like that in the Champions League qualifiers. But funny we're talking about this, JV. Here's a thing for you, right? See if we had the qualifiers now, for the first time in how long, we'd actually be ready now for qualifiers.
When was the last time you said that?
So we'd actually be ready for qualifiers.
Probably when Near Beaton played at centre half and we got to the Champions League.
And then now we're talking about not being ready for the Champions League. I do believe some fans are honestly right. We've all got opinions. We're all buzzing to be in the Champions League. We all hope we're going to do better under Lenz, which I think we will. But you can't be naive and think that it's going to be really hard to get any points. It's going to be really hard. You've got to. It's all right saying the luck of the draw, but what luck of the draw are we going to get in Europe? We're going to get fucking a drop of death. We get it every season we're in it.
Can't comment until we actually see
it. The reality about that is, Ryan, we're going into top 4.
That's what I mean. It's going to be hard.
You're going to get 3 belters above you.
Listen, I'm buzzing.
You're going to be sitting watching it. It's going to be Real Madrid, Benfica.
And this is top of Real Madrid. Here we go. I think I spoke about it.
I'd take them, by the way.
Aye, but see, I'd take them just for something different. Not because we beat them, just for a different team, a different venue, right? But again, I think I spoke about the last podcast. The media tried to spin it around with Callum McGregor. Callum was on Madrid. No, he fucking didn't.
He never even said
he didn't say that. He was just saying he was wanting somebody different because he's not played them before. He's not been to Bernabeu before. Again, the media spin it around and we all know I can't stand when they talk shite. Johnny just put a headline that's the truth. McGregor says he wants to go to Madrid because it's something different. Why can't you not post that? Because it doesn't get the clickbait headlines for people to go, oh, McGregor says this. No, he didn't. It's the same as JP says about a headline about Rangers. Back in the Champions League. No, they're in a qualifying stage. They're not in the Champions League. They can get put out and then that's them in the Europa League. And then they could be in the Conference League. It's a different fucking kettle of fish. Celtic are the champions. Celtic are in the Champions League. That's the fucking headline. No,
that's the reality.
That's the reality. Celtic got £40 million because we're the champions. It's a fucking big difference. And I hate the media for the bias towards that mob, JP. I'll put it to you. It goes in hand with that headline. They're full of shite.
It was like that with the Ben Davis thing, I know. It was Rangers hijacked Celtic target.
Jason, they paid.
We never made a bid for him. We spoke to him.
Paid $4 million for a guy.
Paid $4 million.
That's why
500,000 for.
That's why we never signed him.
I was shite at maths at school, but that just doesn't add up somewhere, lads.
It doesn't add up.
Do you know what's happened? Andrew's been like that. I will have a look at him. They phoned up me like that. $4 million. He's been like that. Forget it.
No, I don't believe we were even interested in Ben Davies. There you go. If we were,
but JP, there's a big difference.
Ballgame, but
there's a big difference between interest and having a look at him.
See my opinion, right? I know that's an off topic, right?
See, United fans were saying he was shite last year.
See, in my opinion, right? That signing doesn't make sense to me.
Mate, I've been saying that for about 2 or 3 days. That's a
panic. It's like a sort of panic buy, just in case. It's like just in case. That's what I'm going to black as that. Just in case. Just in case. PhoneMorgan.com.
If you pay £4 million for a centre back for Liverpool, you're back to play every week. He's not playing every week for them. He's not playing every week for them.
I don't even think he got a game on the PlayStation with Liverpool once, did he? Actually, you'd need to go and check that, but I don't even think he played 5 or 6.
No,
how did he even end up at Liverpool anyway? How did that even come about?
I don't know. Somebody says to me, tour one day around Middlewood, clock through the jersey at him, and he just went like, okay, I'll stay.
But in a serious thing, you're saying, JP and Jason, listen, I think you guys are a decent player, right? See, if we signed him, I'd have been happy with him, right? That's near line. I think he's a decent player, right? But the fact that Liverpool signed him for basically next to nothing, and he didn't play for Liverpool, so how's his value went to £4 million?
He went out loan, didn't he? Where did he go?
Sheffield
United.
And even their fans are moaning about him.
But that's what I'm saying, right? He didn't play with Liverpool. They signed him, and they couldn't field defenders, and they still couldn't get a game, right? Listen, see if he signed for us for £1 million, Adam, and you know what? Good signing, aye. Good pedigree. I know he didn't play Liverpool, but Liverpool must have seen something to sign him. Played with Celtic, played a week with Preston. Aye, I'll take it. But no for £4 million, I'm going to take him.
26-year-old, £4 million.
Starfelt, £4.5 million. Experienced internationalist. Played in Russia, whatever else. Aye, he had a wee shaky start, but he's proven he does know why he's a Swedish international, and he plays most weeks when he's fit. Starfelt. So, big comparison, you're getting an internationalist for Starfelt, or you say £4 million for Man Davis, who, for me, JP's a risk. That's a risk. Aaron Mooy, free transfer, no risk. You're paying wages from him, that's it. £4 million for a guy who's not kicked the ball, really. And he signed... I'm a huge JP, I don't get... This is the last bit we'll talk about this, mob. But the price tag doesn't make sense.
No, I'm actually getting a picture here that he's coming in to play chess and connect four with the boy Sands, because he doesn't really do much for him either, doesn't he? No? And he's here for 18 months.
But according to Alex Ray,
he can play about 4 or 5 different positions.
It doesn't like utility players.
Let's just stop talking about him.
No, but I want to mention this because I think it's been off a radar again. Hatate, utility player. Oh, Gordon, I don't like utility players. And what position are they? Where do they play? Oh, James Sands, brilliant player. I love utility players. They can play in the middle, they can play at the back. Oh, well done, Alex. Fucking Blue Peter Patch. What about Hatate then?
It's the classic, I know. They signed Alan McGregor, 41. Wonderful thing for Scottish football. But we sign Aaron Mooy at 31. Oh, he's past it. Shite. Can't play. What?
And they've just done to do about 3 or 4 bus passes to half the team.
But yeah, Aaron Mooy's past it. But you've got Steve Davis, 38. Arfield.
That was 34. Part of the signing on fee for Alan McGregor, by the way. We'll give you a free bus pass. So he gets a bus into Murray Park every day.
I don't listen to that. And then I don't listen to that fucking nonsense on that radio anywhere, because it's just, they're all fucking cuckoo. But you've got that, what was that tweet that Alex Ray put up about the lights gone or something? Or the lights over.
I bookmarked it, I've kept it. I put it up with Celtic when the league. I bookmarked it all.
See, every time when we went 6 clear, I done it at back, won't you? And I was like, get it right up you.
Listen, I'm off a partner, mate. Alex, listen, I think he played at a good level when he played with him, but some of the opinions are wild, man.
No, but it's not bad to the vein.
I think it's a bit personal with him, by the way.
See, to be fair, mate, right? See, if you're a Celtic pundit or you're playing with Celtic and Rangers, you're going to have some personal biases. You know what I mean? Nobody can say you can't. Listen, Chris Sutton is very fair, but
That was a belter, wasn't it? He talked about the rain knocking his teeth out, man. That was a belter. Actually, I can see after that, I think he went to the same dentist as Methadone Mick.
Honestly, man, it's some of the... Listen, I respect guys for being on the media and giving their opinions, but sometimes you've just got to say, listen, going to just give your true opinion just because you play for a certain... I go back to the last point with this, it goes back to Big Derek Johnson when he was on Clyde One, right? Didn't want to flag his mate McCoy's because he was his mate. No, Derek, your own Clyde One to say your opinion on matters in Scottish football. Doesn't matter if he's your mate. But Jamie O'Hara, by the way, I want to give him a bit of respect, right? People might not agree with what he says, but Jamie O'Hara outed his pal, Matt Docherty, because he played bad for Spurs.
Aye.
Fair play to him, by the way, because he's a Spurs fan. He's played with Spurs, he wants Spurs to play well, and he outed his pal, and I don't think Matt Docherty's I don't know if he's in good terms with him now, but Matt Docherty fell out after his lab.
He fell out of him after it, aye.
So,
he lost a bit of his friendship with the guy.
So I'll give you a bit of respect to O'Hara. Pundit, pay for his opinion. He gives his opinion. But the last bit on the night, lads, Jason, obviously Norwich, again, we've spoken about it again tomorrow. Norwich on Saturday, obviously in Aberdeen. I think I'm agreeing with you, mate, that I think...
Oh, you're jumping the gun here. We'll get him tomorrow.
I know, we've spoken about it, haven't we? The Legia game. Briefly, come at Boris came back, we're spoken about you fucking in Cloud 9.
Oh, right, I must be happy for the sun then, boys, sorry.
But also Norwich and Aberdeen, Jason, I do think that he's got to just maybe start playing the strong squad now. Get the squad together. Maybe the last 15-10 minutes, put guys on and give them a bit of game time, but I think give or take now, I think Jason gone to Saturday, the last point in the night, I think he's just maybe got to stick to the same squad, and I agree with you about Jota, mate. For me, Jota's absolute caviar. McGregor, all round, is probably the best player. I think midfielder, I think he's phenomenal. McGregor, I've already said McGregor could play any team in the top four down south. Again, I don't know what to sell him. But Jota, caviar, mate, 6.5 million. Fucking unbelievable.
Mate, honestly, right, I went to the game on Saturday and I was watching Jota, and it was at one point, he had 3 Blackburn players in him, and he'd done a wee flick and beats the 3 of them. Mate, unbelievable. And then that flick or that guy's head. But I think...
No mention his good goal now.
His goal, I know, aye. But there you go, right? He's done all that.
Andy took one for the team because the boy clotheslined him after it.
Aye, see when he went down, but by the way, my heart fell right out my arse. I was like, oh no. But
your heart's on your arse.
Is that how you were late on the night?
Aye. But
couldn't find the beating thing.
But I think that the next two games they should be playing. Well, Welsh will obviously start tomorrow, and I think that on Saturday, if the new big guy, or new big number 6, is ready to go, I think you should play him, because I think he will start him against Aberdeen.
Who's the new number 6, Jace?
James, isn't it?
Well done. You've got to get the guy's name. Come on, you can't go on a new number 6. See that new number 5, by the way? He's no better than that old number 2.
But I think he will play the team that's going to sort of start the league now. I think he's knowing that. But I'm quite happy with the work that's been done today, and I watch tomorrow. But I think we'll be a lot fitter tomorrow, and I'm just buzzing. I think
JP, what Jason says, I think they will be a bit fitter tomorrow. I think you might see a bit more of the team that we know of tomorrow, given who obviously starts the match. But I think fitness-wise, I think maybe now the rustiness isn't an excuse anymore. It's just more about getting fit now.
Aye, absolutely, mate. I think now is the time to... The players should be ready, or thereabouts ready to be being able to be, if called upon, to be able to play 90 minutes now. The minutes are in their legs now. There's lots of training, probably a lot of strategy, a lot of shape, a lot of this, a lot of that. I nearly done a Mambo number 5 here, didn't I? But no, definitely they should be ready to go. And I agree with these boys. I think this needs to now be an idea of what kind of team he's looking up to playing against Aberdeen. Because coming start of the season, who's really ready to go, who's not. And then I think early next maybe week or two we'll start seeing that boys maybe going out to loan that I'm not really going to feature, and I don't want to say Deadwood because I think that's a bit of a disrespectful remark to make about anybody, but
I'll say it's Deadwood.
Players that are on the squad, but they're not going to play. No, I'm not. No.
I'm saying it. I'm saying it.
I'm not. You're saying it. I'm not fond of that wee rabbit hole with you, mate. No. That's isn't Alice in Wonderland here.
That's a me saying, by the way. By the way, I don't like criticising boys. He's fucking pony.
I don't like criticising him. He's absolute pony. Typical Andy Gray.
Aye.
But no, as I said, but I fucking lost where I was now because he was not commenting about him being ponies in my head now.
You're ponies in Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
I'm talking about between that and thinking about his heart being in his arse. No, team getting ready for the season. This prime. See, do you know what I think's brilliant and all that's right? I don't know if a lot of people have picked up on this. We've been playing Saturday, Wednesday. He's getting them geared up for playing the Champions League. And that's to me, that's a big thing as well. I know some nights we'll be playing on Tuesdays in the Champions League and all right, okay. But he's getting them sort of geared up to be playing like that. And I think that's been that'll be beneficial for them as well in terms of preparation and everything. I never made it along on Monday, but I heard it was a good session and they are looking really sharp. In terms of the football, all the football's there, boys. First half against Blackburn, some of our football was breathtaking. Like passages of play and wee link-ups here and flick-ons here and wee knock-offs here and movement here. It was a different gravy. And we have no really hurt. Like, we've not hurt any form, really. We're just sort of still trying to get, no what to say, find our feet, but we're still just bringing back that sharpness that we had a good holiday there. So, as a team, we're just bringing back the kind of the sharpness for the ball. And I've said it, I don't know how many times I've said it on here. I'm a firm believer that somebody is going to take a fucking beasting against us. I agree. As in 9, 10 potentially, because the quality we've got from mid to front is just unbelievable. And I see that it's going to, eventually it's going to click. And it'll be somebody like, I don't know, a Kilmarnock or a St Johnson or, I mean, we already took 7 off them there this last season. We could have beat Liverpool in the last day of the season in double figures.
Oh, big time. We
could have beat the Tribute Act at Parkhead the night we beat them 3-0. We could have beat them with double figures. If it wasn't for the OAP goalie. His concession bus card. Wasn't for him taking his spinach before the game and pulling off wonder saves. But no, as I say, I'm looking forward to it, lads. I'm very, very optimistic. Again, when we win something, I don't get too carried away. And it helps me not to get too disappointed when we do lose or drop points or get beat or we don't manage to get something out of the line. So I think the players are buying into Ange very well. And I think you'll see as the season starts to move and we go, I think you'll see Celtic show what I'm saying in terms of the golf in Scottish football. I think we'll be far superior to anything that's here. I really do.
I agree with you, JP. I do believe that last year showed a wee bit of golf near the end of the season when we started to motor. And I do believe it's a golf. I just think there's... But listen, I don't want to be too disrespectful. I know they're rivals, but they've got some good players and they will put a challenge to us. Listen, it will be a challenge. The first few months are always get nip and tuck, but I do think that the way we want to play and the way Ange's got us going, I just think we're just going to keep motor on. But just the quality we've got in our squad, lads. I think
they're weaker, right?
You probably say
they've just lost Aribo
and Shirley Bassey.
Big Shirley, by the way.
What a move.
Big Shirley, the ballet dancer. What was it they were saying? We never mentioned that earlier on as well. We were talking. What were they saying? Something like 30 or 40 million they would go for.
Aye, in Freddles.
Aye. But fucking fantasy football.
It's a good move for him.
By the way, if Carlsberg did transfers, that
is a good move for him, but
it's a brilliant move from me. But
move for him, man.
But the way they were talking, it was like £40 million and apples and pears and Dembele dollars.
We don't need to sell anybody.
Listen,
by the way, right before a Champions League qualifier, there are only two assets in the team are sold.
That's why with the Ben Davies thing, I was like, he's not a left back. He's not a left back. You need a left back.
I don't think he's a football player, mate, to be honest with you.
I can understand it. But I don't think that's a Gio signing.
I think he's been left back somewhere. I don't know if he's never came back for it, but you know what I mean? But he's been left back somewhere, maybe in the dressing room or something like that, but he's never actually came back for it. So that's about the only comparison to left back.
I do agree with you. For a personal, for Bassett, it's a fantastic move. I think he's got lucky. Listen, fair play to the guy. He's got a good move. Not meaning Rangers get a bit of money for it. It's just a market now. Same as us. If Ivanovic ever to go, or guys in the future, we need to start getting more money for the other players.
That's exactly right. I mean, but you're talking about a guy that had maybe 6-7 good fucking weeks of the season, mate. Come on, you can't legislate for. How can you compare that? How can you compare that to a guy that's staying at season in, season out?
He played well in Europe, but and that's what I actually looked at.
But he done nothing against us.
You've
got to be, Jace. You've got to be. You can't just look at him in Europe and say
he was sat on his arse against us.
Brad Douglas done well in Europe, but he wasn't. Does that mean he was a fucking world class goalkeeper? No. World class windy cleaner, maybe. Aye. Because he fucking washed windies nearly every week. Other weeks I've seen him.
I've still never forgave him for that Seville, by the way.
Jesus, Johnny, man.
Yeah, enough of that, man. We've had enough of that pain, man.
Brad Douglas, man.
But I agree with all your points.
I think it might. I'm more saying that I think we'll still win the league, but I think it'll be a bit tighter than what I thought.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite.
No, I don't think so, Jace.
I say it to Fraser as well. I think Celtic won it by a few points. Again, listen, I could have egg in my face at the end of the season and people screenshot every podcast.
Here's another thing though, right? Is every player that Rangers have signed going to come in and have an impact on the way that the Celtic players have come in? Because the
thing that I think Rangers need big time, and I think we've got in abundance, is a goalkeeper. McGregor's not going to be the McGregor anymore. He was making mistakes last season. He pulled off good saves, but he was making daft decisions that McGregor doesn't do. Listen,
look at the 3-8 game against Ross County. What's the goalie doing, Tom?
Listen, we're all Celtic fans here, right? But you know when you see a good player, right? McGregor, people might shoot me down for this. McGregor was a world-class goalkeeper in his pomp. Don't care what anybody says he was. But
no, he was.
He was, but he's finished.
100%.
He's finished, right? John McLaughlin is able for them. But is he a number one goalkeeper? No, we've got
League One, John.
But then you don't know about John McLaughlin because he's never actually had that a fair crack at the number one.
He played with Hearts and Sunderland, Jason. Come on. I mean, if he was a top goalkeeper, he'd be playing the Premier League or fucking at least the Championship.
Well,
I don't know.
I actually think that a losing Aribo is maybe a bigger loss.
See, I don't.
If Rangers going to the league with Arfield, in the middle of that park, then
I think that the full thing is
they brought in a boy Tillman to Bayern Munich, mate.
He's a player.
And Bayern Munich, as far as I'm led to believe, I've got a buyback option on him as well. So if they didn't rate him, then they wouldn't have that in the clause.
Okay,
so
listen, I know we're Celtic fans, right? They have got some quality, but I do believe that we're far better, and I think we'll prove it. Under Ange, listen, Gio, I know we slag wee Gio for his Peppa Pig lunch boxes. He's a very small man, and he's wee Spider-Man walkie-talkies at
look at his communication skills here. I got to be learning this for tonight's pod, boys. Roy Mackay gave me a learning this. Apparently, this is your communications when Gio's in the stand watching the football, and they have a wee conflab on knees, apparently. So,
we do slag him right on the podcast a wee bit about it. But listen, he is a decent manager. But I think that I think we've got an elite manager. We've got an elite coach.
Yes,
we've got far better players, far better structures as a club. I just think we're going places under Ange, and I think looking to Saturday, I was the same as used to. Just play your strongest team as you can. Give or take, obviously, guys from off the bench. On to the Legia game, again, strongest team as you can. Give or take, again, guys on the bench. On to Aberdeen, obviously, you play your strongest team as possible. But again, lads, I think we've covered. It's been everything I think a lot of fans have been speaking about. A lot of content, and any content you wish to get, subscribe to the YouTube channel if possible. Please support the channel. Free, click the bell and we go live. It pops up. We're on TikTok as well. Sometimes I add a wee bit of banter on TikTok. It's not much content, but any good podcast we put on, it'll be on there. Twitter as well. Get myself, Jason, and JP on Twitter. Give a wee follow on any updates. We'll be on that as well. Again, lads, thanks for your time, and hail.